All right, and we're back. So we were talking about Rudy Gobert, and we were talking about what are the Jazz going to do with him? Charlie Murphy, thoughts?
Rudy Gobert. As a Bulls fan, and I think I speak for a good number of Bulls fans out there, I hope he never comes to the Bulls. I mean, there are gonna be some people disappointed. I know because we've talked to me, Daniel, about Booch. I'm always gonna choose offense. As good as Rudy Gobert is, he does nothing for you offensively. Nothing. And if he's not giving you defense, and he had a down year, what are you good for? At least Booch can pretend to play defense. And still, when he's in the post, I saw him in the playoffs. They were doubling him. Some games they were doubling him. He's creating offense. That's useful. So if you're going to get rid of Booch and upgrade, okay, get a guy who gives you some offense. Just do that. But Rudy Gobert, no. I think that because DeRozan, right? He activates in the paint a lot. He drives sometimes. Rudy Gobert's just going to get in the way, or they're just going to we'll just double Rosen. Gobert ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna shoot no jumper.
Yeah, I was pretty upset when I saw that rumor that the Bulls are interested because I'm like, well, first of all, why would we trade for a guy who has a huge contract who you can only use in the regular season? But once the playoffs start, you can't play him because he has no offensive benefit whatsoever. So you're putting a guy out there who they're going to target because in the pick and roll because he can't defend the pick and roll because he doesn't want to leave the paint. He only wants to rebound. He wants to block shots and guard the paint. So they're going to target him, put him on a perimeter player, shoot threes over him, and then he's going to give you nothing on the offensive end as well. Yeah, I hope that they don't because Vooch is definitely a better player at this point. Smooth.
They gotta wait
Honestly,
patiently.
I don't think you can put him on any contender. You're really pretty much just wasting your time. Unless he goes to, I would say the only place he has a fit is the Miami Heat. That's it. Because they're not looking to score. Miami's literally looking to shut you down defensively and win a 72-78 game. That's how they're playing it over there. Other than that, there's nothing you can do with them. You're wasting your your draft capital and whatever players you give up to get Rudy. That's it. That's
I
all I
would
gotta
say
say.
Golden State, but all their bigs can shoot.
Exactly,
So
exactly. Um, his name's eluding me, but I know. Brian, you're going to remind me what his name is. But the guy that used to play for um, the Pacers, he had that really good, he had a couple of really good seasons as a center. He was 7'2". I don't know
Oh my
why.
God, I can't think of
It's
his
driving
name.
me crazy that I can't think of his
Roy
name.
Hibbert.
Roy
Roy
Hibbert.
Hibbert.
That's what it was. I knew would remind me. Yeah, that's what Rudy Gobert is to me at this point. He's Roy Hibbert. Like he can't move, he can't defend, he has nothing on the offensive end, and we seen the demise of him. Now, fortunately for the Pacers, they were smart enough to recognize that Roy Hibbert didn't have a long shelf life. They didn't give him a long term contract, and so when he fizzled out, they were able to get out from under him. Yeah, Jazz are stuck. He's probably after Russell Westbrook, John Wall, Roy Hibbert's right up there with the most untradeable players at this point. And I honestly would be really upset if the Bulls trade for him. All right, let's move on to subject number
I
two.
just want to say Marcus Smart. It's the third quarter. Marcus Smart is self-destructing the
Yeah,
Celtics
he
like
does
normal.
every single third quarter. It drives me crazy.
Yeah,
He starts shooting threes when he should be
when
going
he's going
for
to the basket, he shoot. Yeah,
yeah.
you're not the
Drives me
star of the
crazy.
team, sir.
He literally shoots the Celtics out, and
Yeah, playing
Jason
hero
Tatum,
ball.
Jalen Brown do stupid stuff in the third quarter as well. Especially
But
when
go
they
ahead.
have a lead, which they had at the beginning of the third quarter. Moving on to keep up with our theme of turmoil, we're going to talk about Deshaun Watson, our good buddy Deshaun Watson, and was this a good trade or not? So, just to give a little background on Deshaun Watson, so he's facing criminal charges. There was 23 allegations against him for sexual misconduct with massage therapists. And most recently, there's a 24th person who's come out and they have charged him with that as well. It looks like that this may actually go to trial. And if it goes to trial, then we're going to see possibly some legal action happen here in the very near future. So, what should the Browns do?
Hold on, I wanna attack this first.
Okay.
So I'm tired of everybody talking about this subject. Let it go. There's going to be no criminal charges. He wasn't indicted twice by a grand jury. At this point, we're just piling on a black man. Literally at this point, for no reason, because obviously there's no proof. Because if there was proof, that black man, rich black man, would be sitting in a jail cell right now, awaiting trial, a criminal trial.
All right.
Secondly,
Okay.
I'm not done. I'm not done. Secondly, do I think there's some smoke there? Possibly a little bit. I mean, you don't generally get this many women without some of it being true. But I feel like a lot of this is people just piling on. Come on. It's been almost 3 years, and now two people, two more people now are saying, "Oh, I want in on this class action lawsuit against him." Two more people just out of the blue, and then I feel like all this only came about because he told the Texans, "I wouldn't play for you." The Texans knew whatever was going on because they had NDAs. They gave to the man. They gave
Yeah.
him NDAs.
And apparently he reached out to, these are the only 23 women who have said something. Apparently there's 66 women in total. Yeah. But I'm going to
I
say
don't
this
know.
because I'm hoping that Brian doesn't get us canceled. We don't have enough
Don't
views
say
to
that
cancel right
N-word
now
anymore.
anyway.
Okay, I don't care what
But I'm
anybody
going to
else
say
thinks.
this. Look, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's 24 women who say that he did something. So obviously he has done something to the majority of these women, if not all of them. We should believe victims when they speak. There's definitely a lot of, we should at least, and he'll have his day in court. And when he has his day in court or they settle or what have you, then that'll be the end of the legal matter.
That's the
But
stupidest
we
thing
need to
I've
listen
ever
to
Okay.
heard.
victims more
No,
because
seriously,
definitely,
we gotta believe every victim when they speak. But then it's so many of
Yeah.
them who have been proven wrong to be lying. So
Yeah.
if we
well,
believe every
we have
person,
to at least take their side until proven otherwise. Initially, we have to at least
so
believe.
every man has to be guilty until he can prove
I didn't
himself
say that
innocent.
every man has to be guilty.
That's what you just
I didn't say
said.
that at all. What I said was that we oftentimes don't listen to victims when things like this has happened. That this is a habitual problem
I
that we
think
have in the United
I
States
think
of America.
no,
Um,
I think people take sides, just like the media, if
no,
you turn on sports
I'm
CNN,
not taking sides. What
they
I'm
all
pointing
have
to
taken a side
What I'm
against
pointing
him.
to is that women are constantly abused, victims of abuse, and so are children, and
But
people don't
here's the
listen.
thing.
And then that's how we get to situations
To be fair, you can't take a side. And so everybody keeps talking about this until it plays out in a court of law. Why are we talking about it? Because
it's like,
now we're
okay,
just
maybe
giving an
there's
opinion.
one or two. Okay, maybe this might not be.
We're just giving an
But when
opinion
we
that
get to
we have.
10, we get to 20, that this is
But
becoming a problem.
Okay. For it to
it's
be
an opinion.
almost 66 people, it makes me feel like, look, some of these people are crisis actors just to pile onto it. But when there's smoke, there's fire. I do agree with that. Now, if it was just one woman, you
Were you
know,
there?
I'm a, I'm not
Were
there.
you
Now,
were
I
you there?
assume no, I wasn't there. None of us were here. I assume that you two, like most
Exactly.
of our viewers, the few that we have they probably done a little research of tuned into the Johnny Depp trial. You know, his ex came out, said, "Oh yeah, he was abusing me. He was abusive." So what happened? Johnny Depp pretty much got canceled. He lost out on the Pirates movie,
Thank you.
Fantastic Beast. Um, that was one woman though. The only difference between Johnny Depp and this one is about 65 extra women.
But here's
But
the thing.
he shouldn't be. Now, hold on. He shouldn't be canceled though. He should be allowed to play until the trial happens. That should happen. Now, if you're going into court every day, then yeah, sit him on the bench. But he should be able to play. You should at least allow him to play because, like you said, nothing happened. Ain't go to court. He hasn't been indicted. So there's some smoke here, but it's not enough where he's going to see a jail cell anytime
And
soon. So just let
I'm
the
going to
man play.
play devil's advocate here. Hold on, Brian. I'm going to play devil's advocate here
Yeah,
because
it's her
murdered.
on the circle.
You personally murdered Ben Roethlisberger, and he did nothing of the sort that this.
Because we have video evidence. We have video evidence. I wasn't there. You wasn't there. We don't have any proof. We don't have any text messages. We don't really have anything to say he did these things.
We just have 66 women who have had sexual conduct with him that were giving him massages, 23 of which have said that, hey, they didn't want it, and he still tried to push.
But that's their word against his. And all I'm saying, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that they're all liars. I do believe some of them are liars. I don't believe all of them are. But my
I think
point
most
is,
of them.
Hold on, let me finish. Everybody has an opinion on it, and we're crucifying the man. I'm saying let the trial play out. Let him go to court against all these women in a civil lawsuit, and let this be determined. And then after there's a verdict, then we discuss it.
I just find it interesting that you do that when we both know that the American justice system oftentimes gets it wrong. Actually, probably the majority of the time they get it wrong. Just because someone has money, power, influence, especially like a Deshaun Watson, they get it wrong. Just because he...
Not with a black man. Not with a black man.
That's not always true. Hey,
you say that?
I'm going to give you an example. R. Kelly got away for a very long time. A very long time. He was accused of things. He went to court for a number of things. He got away with it for a very long time.
Okay. Let's get into this. Okay, you really want to go there about R. Kelly? Because they literally, that's double jeopardy. They tried him on something he already beat.
Sorry.
Hey! I still listen to his music in private.
Yeah.
Public, but
I don't listen to any of his music, ladies. I don't listen to any of his music. He's a monster. And
look, all I'm saying is, with the R. Kelly thing, they just wanted to get R. Kelly. They tried him a second time on charges he had already beat. That's technically double jeopardy. Was R. Kelly guilty? Heck yeah. Do I like that? I don't like the outcome because that's double jeopardy. Out of the second trial. I'm sorry. I don't agree with it, with the second decision. But I didn't agree with the first
one. How am I the only one? Y'all should be joining me black. Okay.
I was yelling at my dogs.
What music do you hear? Because I don't hear them.
Oh, I'm not playing it because I don't want it to be canceled. So
yeah. But I was thinking, this is the ignition.
We're not doing that.
Oh yeah. You doing the?
How am I the only person thinking that?
You doing the Dave Chappelle?
Deshaun Watson should at least be allowed to play. Now, if he has court dates, then sit him down. Focus on the courts. But he don't got no court date. He should have been allowed to play. Whatever team wants to risk their brand and image, it's their right to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him. This ain't like your quarterback, killing dogs and fighting dogs and gambling. This ain't like your quarterback. Or the NFL Man of the Year, getting caught soliciting sexual favors at night before the Super Bowl. None of this compares to that. This is 10 times worse. You remember that. This is 10 times worse than anything that I think I've ever seen a player do. This is worse than seeing Ray Rice kick his wife.
This ain't worse than Ray Caruth.
This is not worse than Ray Caruth. Ray Caruth, this is the worst. That was the absolute worst thing that could possibly be done.
Him and Aaron Hernandez.
Yes, those two, they're monsters. This ain't even Sam Hurd, who was a drug kingpin the whole time he was in the NFL. None of this compared. This is none of those.
I
This
actually
is
forgot
on
about
the
that one.
Some
extreme
Resident
end of
Evil.
like the Ray Caruths of the world. Um, and I wouldn't play them just because I don't want my that imagery to be what people remember about my franchise. Because there is going to be a 30 for 30 on this at some point. We
Okay.
all know that they're writing the 30 for 30 right now, and you want to make sure that you can be as favorable as possible in this 30 for 30 that they're going to do on Deshaun Watson.
But till we see some concrete proof, so what I have seen coming out are what people have said he told them to do while he was there. But you don't have any video proof. You don't have a text message. You don't have anything. So it's
Well, they
literally
do
his
have text
word.
messages. That's not true. They have text messages.
No, I'm talking about him saying they said he laid down with his legs in the air. I forget it's some type of yoga pose he was doing, and
They
they
have
asked
text
her.
messages where the lady said what he did and emails saying what he did that was inappropriate. They do have that. So
Yeah.
between him and
Between him and
the
Deshaun, but between them and Deshaun.
Um.
yes, it exists.
Um.
I just thought his lawyer did him a disservice saying getting a happy ending is not a crime.
But it is a crime. It's prostitution.
If you pay, if you pay for it and
Actually,
get caught.
Correct.
it's not a
Correct.
crime if you don't pay.
Maybe she was in a good mood. He was just really persuasive.
It's not a crime if you
So,
don't pay for it.
I'll say this because I had an article for this. Since 2000, there's been 134 NFL players arrested for domestic violence, sexual assault, battery, solicitation, stuff like that. Most notably, I found this article. Obviously, Ben Roethlisberger back in 2008, 2009, he had that thing. Greg Hardy,
Yep.
2014, domestic violence. He was sentenced to 60 months probation, criminal. He was ultimately suspended for 10 games, basically, back in 2014. Ray
I
Rice,
remember that.
2014, that was the elevated video. There's no coming back from that. That won't, yeah. I felt sorry for the girl. I did. Reuben Foster,
Heard about
linebacker at San Francisco 49ers, was arrested for domestic violence. Of course, he wasn't charged, though, but he was his punishment seemed weak to me. He was fined for two game checks and was not suspended. Ezekiel Elliott, 2016,
Which was
charged
bogus.
and he was not charged and denied all allegations. He was suspended for 6 games. Uh,
Which was wrong because the NFL investigator said he didn't do it, and they still suspended.
Kareem Hunt, 2018. It's a lot of names, right?
Yeah, 6 games there. I
2018.
remember that.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I got him kicked off the Chiefs. The Chiefs would have never lost that second Super Bowl if they had Kareem
It
Hunt.
wasn't for him. So
Never.
there's been a lot of players in the NFL. This is just the biggest guy. I think, and I'll say this again, some of those are crisis actors. 64 people. Some of us got to be crisis, just adding to the total. But there could be, even if it's like 10 of them, that he actually did something he wasn't supposed to. I don't condone that. He's a terrible person for that. But he should have his day in court. We shouldn't demonize him. We live in a world. There are some people like Amber Heard where I'm watching this and I'm like, she's clearly lying. You just changed up
Hey,
your story on trial. You changed
and
up your
she's
story. We're
not
listening to you.
being demonized, and she should have went to
I
jail.
find it highly unlikely that 24 women are all going to perjure themselves.
But here's my problem. Okay,
Well,
the ones that are lying, why aren't they going to go to jail? Because women lie on men all the time, and then they
women do
find out they
lie.
lied, and nothing happens.
Women do lie.
I'm not
And
saying
nothing
that they
happens.
don't. I mean, people lie, but I find it highly
Women.
unlikely that 24 women are going to all perjure themselves. They're all going to be like Amber Heard. I find, and
So
when they all have similar stories to each other.
women do lie and get away with that. We know that because let's take paternity test. 1/3 of
Yeah,
paternity test comes out negative. Think about that. 1/3 of men thinking this is the baby, this is supposed to be the father, right? Turns out negative. Okay, but the man, if he signs the birth certificate, he has to pay for child support for how many kids that he think he is his. The women don't face criminal charges for that. Now, I'm
I'm
not
gonna
here to
say
demonize women. My point is that the law favors women. Okay, um, Brian said earlier, like it was the owner of the Texas, his best friend or whatever, started the suit. He started this lawsuit. Okay, That's shady.
I agree. That is a little
That's
fishy.
nothing short of shady. There's nothing short. You're too close to. You are too close to it. So that's nothing short of shady.
I,
What I mean, I don't condone that.
I believe that is still true, but I do believe that the Houston Texans were holding
Okay,
information. They
so you
held the
don't think
information until it was advantageous to release.
there was reasonable doubt that this could be manufactured because of
No, I don't believe it's manufactured. And the reason why I
mm,
don't believe it's manufactured is because they would have had to get all these women to do all of this and create all these text messages and all this evidence that they have in advance, knowing that Deshaun Watson was going to request a trade, in some cases years down the
I'm
line.
pretty sure there was some
So
signs there.
I believe that they knew because look, every organization, every football team, every whatever big organization, they all have former FBI agents, CIA agents, or whomever, Secret Service on their payroll. They use these guys to dig up dirt on their employees that they want to keep or they want to tarnish their reputation. They also use these guys as cleaners to clean up messes that would possibly tarnish the organization.
Cleaners?
So,
I'm done talking
with
about
that,
Are we
football.
talking like body bag cleaners? Like, what's up, man? You know
no,
something
I'm
I don't
done
know?
talking about
what
The
we're
only
football.
talking
type of
about.
cleaners I
You
know.
know where the bodies are buried, though. But
The
my
cleaners
point is,
that makes people disappear.
my point
Look,
is,
Charles, I agree with you. Thank you for taking my side on this. I'm not gonna bash another black man on this thing. I'm
That's the
not.
wrong reason.
just
I'm
hear me out. I
not
That's
agree
the
gonna
wrong
with
bash
reason.
y'all
another
about
black
the
man.
Houston Texans. These cleaners held information until it was advantageous to
Still
release.
bashing. It doesn't matter. You're still bashing another black man on this podcast. I'm gonna give him his day in court,
We know
and
he's
then
dead wrong. We know he's dead wrong.
All right, can we?
doesn't matter. I'm gonna give him
Yeah.
his day like OJ. I'm gonna give him his day in court, and then if he's exonerated, cool. If he's not,
Hey,
then we got stuff to say.
OJ was innocent. We all saw it.
Thank
He
you,
was innocent.
thank you. He never did it. OJ never did it.
All right. Final shots. I just want to say that the
Okay.
Cleveland Browns are stupid. They gave away the greatest draft haul since Herschel Walker, and they completely got fleeced because they paid a guaranteed contract to a player who may never play for them ever. But they're going to still
He's
have to
he's
pay.
uh he's playing the OTAs right now. He's just gonna be suspended for the season. That's why they
Yeah,
It
kept it.
shows. It
That's why they
shows
kept it.
how far people are willing to go and
Bruh,
how little they care about your actions.
how do you expect him not to play for them? This is not a criminal trial. These are civil trials. That's not going to keep him out the NFL.
well, keep in mind that talent always trumps anything. I don't care what industry you work in, sports, entertainment. You can work at McDonald's. It doesn't matter. They will always take the most talented person over the person who's less talented, even if that person comes with baggage. It does not matter. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for watching the dialogue. Make sure that you watch us on YouTube. Rate us, review us, give us 5 stars, leave a comment. We'll talk to you on Sunday.